Okay. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for joining. Those of you who are watching, this is Sister Omi Sachette, and we have Sister Aj.
Greetings.
Peace to you, Sister Latifa. Nice to
Peace.
see you. So, thank you for joining us. We want to start off with discussing some of the benefits of meditation.
Mm,
Um, as you can see, we have listed some of the benefits. Um, Reduces stress stored in the body. I think that's the most known reason to
mm-hmm.
meditate in terms of stress. But also, practicing meditation can support emotional healing from generational trauma, can strengthen a sense of identity and self worth, can help regulate the nervous system, can help take us out of that fight or flight mode, which is what many of us are in if we're constantly under stress, constantly feeling anxiety, and put us in the more relaxed mode. It can help improve sleep and rest. That's really important. When we
Shay.
have a lot, go ahead, Sister Aj.
No, I was just saying I say about the rest.
Yeah, yeah. When we have a lot on our minds, often we either can't sleep or we keep getting up out of sleep. Meditation can assist with that, even in those moments, when you're the sleep is disrupted. Boost the immune function. That might be
Mm,
something that a lot of people may not realize. Um, Supports mental clarity and decision making. Meditation can encourage self love and compassion. Meditation can deepen your spiritual connection. And I love this last one, helps release internalized societal pressure. So, those are just some benefits. Sister Ajay, do you have any other benefits to add or any comments on the benefits that we've just shared?
I think all of them are pretty detailistic, and all of them, from a cultural and communal perspective, is very well needed in our community, especially in these days of time, dealing with the high level of stress, the high level of anxiety, the high level of people not being able to sleep, sleep deprivation, sleep apnea, um, people eating late in the night because they can't sleep. um, I think all 10 of them are very, very profound in being beneficial for us, and we just want to make sure that people are educated about how important meditation can be as a spiritual practice for you or a practice for just relaxation or ease of the mind, because the body follows the mind. So yeah, I just want to make sure that we're always aware of the purpose of why we're doing what we're doing, and that way people can get stronger in their meditation practice.
Absolutely. I think about the season that we're in, especially if you are, in the parts of the country that, big cities are, it doesn't necessarily even have to be big cities. I guess I'm thinking about, I'm currently in Florida, but I just returned from 4 days in New York City. And New York City born and raised, but I'm not accustomed to the density that's everywhere, even walking on the sidewalks, or going into a restaurant, getting on the subway, which I did not get on the subway, but I'm thinking of those of you that might be watching, and I'm thinking about boost the immune function, because we are aware of, maybe taking vitamin C or elderberry or other different things, but may not be aware that, meditation and the mechanics of meditation, the deep breathing, actually um, does boost your immune function. I was doing another class the other day where we talked about how there's not to get too scientific, but people might wonder how. So this is what I'm remembering, that there's nitric oxide in our lungs, and when you practice deep breathing, which is what you do when you meditate, you activate that, and that function helps to kill bacteria. That's something that I learned from research. So there are so many ways that the body can help to heal itself or protect itself. So when I think about number six, boosting the immune function, you know, that is another good reason. you know, um, any one stand out for you, Sister RJ, that you might want to comment on?
Um, I think improving sleep and rest, which is why I said Ashe after you had first mentioned it,
Mm-hmm.
is because a lot of times, because we've normalized stress in our community, it has been normalized in the way we go throughout our day with just processing stress. Some of us don't even realize that we are stressed until it becomes a problem that we can't rest. It becomes
Yes.
difficult for people to relax. It takes longer for people to get into a state of
Mhm.
relaxation. That is a sign that your body and your mind is allowing you to know that it's highly stressed when it takes you a long time to get relaxed.
Absolutely.
Because I was doing some research earlier this week, and I was reading up on, that comes from back in the enslavement days, where we hardly got to rest to the weekend. We
Mm.
were in the fields, depending on if you were in the house of the colonizer, if you were outside in the fields. But uh, the research was saying how we had never really been able to normalize rest, and still to this day. And a lot of us seen our grandmothers working two and three jobs. We seen our moms doing a lot, cooking, cleaning, taking care of everybody. So we really have never been properly exposed to the benefits of really resting. And so what the research was saying is that because we have really never had the benefit and the luxury of resting, it's like psychologically, we still don't really allow ourselves to really rest properly
Mhm.
because we're
Yeah.
so used to doing things. We're working 8 hours, sometimes 10 hours. Some people more than that. Some people are working more than one job. Then they have to come home. They have to cook. They have to clean. They have to deal with the children. They have to, get the homework done, get people bathed and in the bed. And it's like we never have any downtime. And
Mhm.
so for me, that really resonated because we really never looked at the reason why our community may not be as relaxed as other cultures.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
also feel other cultures don't really acknowledge, our way of living, and that it really doesn't um, welcome in a lot of restful behaviors. When we sleep, we're supposed to rest, but a lot of us are not even getting proper hours of sleep. When the
Absolutely.
body is resting and sleeping, the body is also repairing and restoring. And we have to make sure that we acknowledge that, 2 or 3 hours, 4 or 5 hours, even 6 hours is not enough rest for us. They're saying because of our level of stress, we need more rest than most people, and we're just not getting it. And so, therefore, if we can use meditation as a benefit just to have time to rest the mind, 5, 10 minutes in the beginning of your day, and 5 to 10, maybe 15, 20 minutes before you retire at night, that's a big deal. Naps are a big deal. A lot of people, that's another thing that, we're not highly exposed to, is resting throughout the day and taking a nap.
Right. Absolutely.
We
Yeah.
don't allow ourselves these different practices of rest. Just laying your head back in your car if you got to, and just closing your eyes and resting. There's all different forms of meditation, and just closing your eyes and deep breathing through your diaphragm is an act of meditation, just allowing the organs and the body to restore, repair, and just rest where the organs are not, busy doing anything at that moment. And so this is why we have never really been welcomed into proper self care or proper self love in the way of simplistic things that we can do every day. But definitely our people deserve to rest and restore. So I would say number five would be my best thing, because I came from a family where I rarely seen people rest.
Mm-hmm.
At night when they would sleep, but really no other acts or practices of rest and restoration.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Same. I didn't see anybody rest during the day, but I have made a practice. And I do work at home, so that helps to facilitate it. That, if I need to, I take time and I lay down and I take a nap. And
Hmm.
that really helps to help me to reset. Or if I
Yeah.
don't take a nap, I take a few deep breaths, maybe just close my eyes. I might even be at my computer and just close my eyes and take a few deep breaths. So I think that's a good lead in to let's all engage in meditation now. So, for those of you who are live streaming with us, I want you to make sure. First thing I want you to do is make sure that you don't have that your phone is set to silent. I would even invite you to turn it away from you, because sometimes when the eyes are closed, you can still pick up. If you have a notification, please, if you have anything on in the background, please turn it off, whether it's the TV or anything else. If you need to close the door now, or to tell, other people in the house, listen, please don't disturb me now. I'm giving you time to do that as well. And after you've done all of that, please sit, or you could be reclining, whatever way that you're joining us. Sit comfortably. Your feet can be placed on the floor, or if it's comfortable for you, if you're sitting on the floor, you can cross your legs. Whatever is comfortable for you, I want you to get into that position now. And I want you to close your eyes as we begin a guided meditation. I want you to begin to pay attention to your breathing. You're just paying attention now. Your eyes are closed. You're allowing yourself to just notice. Begin by simply noticing that you are here in this present, breathing, breathing naturally. Right now, there is nowhere else that you need to be. There's nothing else that you need to do. Give yourself permission to allow your body to slow down and be in this moment. So take a slow, deep inhale through the nose and then let a longer breath out through the mouth. Again, take a deep inhale through the nose. Hold for a moment and slowly release the breath through your mouth. Let your breath move like a soft wave, steady and smooth. With each exhale, allow yourself to release a little bit more tension, a little bit more stress. Just allowing your body to soften naturally without forcing anything. You're just noticing your breathing, deeply inhaling and slowly exhaling, and repeating that over and over again as you listen to the sound of my voice. Now, as you continue to deeply inhale and slowly exhale, bring your attention to your forehead and imagine a softening there, like a warm sunlight melting away any tightness. And as you're doing this, you continue to inhale deeply and exhale fully. Now bring your attention to your jaw, letting it relax. Now bring your attention to the shoulders, softening the shoulders by feeling them gently sink down and away from the ears on the exhale. Bringing your attention to your hands, allow your hands to rest and relax. Bring your attention to the abdominal area, softening the belly, moving that relaxation through your hips, and moving relaxation down both of your legs and all the way down through the tips of your toes. At this moment, give your body permission to relax. as you continue to focus on each inhale and exhale. Now bring your attention to your breath just as it is. Notice the inhale and notice the exhale. There's no need to change it. Just simply observing. Now, if your mind wanders, that is absolutely natural. When you notice that your mind is drifting, kindly bring your attention back to your breath, back to this moment. Each time you come back, you are strengthening your mindfulness. You are practicing being present in this moment. Imagine a gentle light surrounding you, a calm and peaceful glow. This light supports you, it protects your peace. It reminds you that you are safe in this moment. Let that light fill your mind, your heart, and your body, bringing ease, quiet, and calm. Continue to focus on each inhale and exhale. Continue to allow yourself to be aware of the rhythm of your breathing. Take a slow, deep breath in, hold, and exhale a full breath out. Gently bring awareness back into your body. Feel the surface beneath you. Notice the weight of your body resting in the chair or wherever you might be resting. And when you are ready, slowly open your eyes, bringing with you a sense of calm, presence, and relaxation. Welcome back. How do you feel? Take a moment to notice. Hmm. Okay, we have a question. So the question is from Antisha Soul. I saw a reel of someone patting the area of the thymus gland while chanting the sound of Om. It said it regulates the nervous system, reducing stress and anxiety. Is that considered meditation? That can be considered meditation, yes. There are various different forms chanting the sound of and also hitting a point on the body. So that I would say what I just took everyone through is a simple meditation, but now that type of meditation is a little bit more, I would say, involved because it deals with um, hitting a point on the body that relates to the thymus gland as well as chanting the sound of But yes, if you do that repeatedly with your breathing, that could be considered a form of meditation. Yes. Sister Ajay, you have any comments about that?
Yes, definitely being a chakra practitioner, that would be something that we could do to open up the heart. If you're
Mm-hmm.
feeling emotionally, if you're feeling emotionally heavy, and that is why you're doing the meditation, you could always tap the thymus. You could also tap the thyroid, which is your throat chakra.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's why we always say it's different ways to meditate, but you enter into meditation. This was just a simple guided meditation, as Sister Omi said, but there's all different types of meditation, and you determine where you need to relax.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of times people are heavy in the heart chakra, and EFT tapping, electromagnetic frequency tapping on those parts of the body helps the nervous system. Your collarbone helps the central nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
Your throat, definitely your throat chakra, definitely if you're having a problem with expressing yourself, you know, you have a problem with anger, as far as in the heart chakra, you could do that EFT tapping while you meditate and chant Om as well, because
Mm-hmm.
there's a different frequency for each chakra that you can chant to open up so energy can move in that particular energy center. And so Om definitely opens up the heart and the throat as well. So yes, that would be a type of meditation depending on what you need.
Mm-hmm. Great question. Are there any other comments about meditation that we can? Oh, thank you. Okay, good, Sister Antisha. Sister Aj, would you like to answer this question?
Yeah, as far as removing blockages in the root chakra, there's a foot sound bowl, a Tibetan bowl that you can stand in to get your energy. I have one of those I use for my chakra class. Actually, I just got it. So that's a foot sound bowl that you can use, and you step into the Tibetan bowl, and someone can help you balance your root chakra there. And also, you can use the tuning fork and
Mm-hmm.
put on the and sit in a meditational style and put the tuning forks on the different acupuncture points of your feet, because your feet is relative to every part of every organ in your body. And so you could use something like what Sister Omi is showing is the tuning forks. And you can, raise your vibration or unblock energy that you have in your root chakra through those different tools as well. You could also do reflexology on the feet to be able to unblock energy in your root chakra with your essential oils. That is a practice if you wanted to go somewhere with a massage therapist and get reflexology on your feet, or you can learn the different acupressure points in your feet and you can apply essential oils and apply to the different organs and the different pressure points of your feet to remove um, energy blockages in your root chakra.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Are there any more comments or questions? Okay. All right. So we want to. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, Antisha. So let's go ahead and get into our discussion. Okay. So we talked a little bit about, meditation in the beginning. And then, in our series, we're also connecting, stress, especially since we're in the midst of the holiday season. But what we added to this, to our topic in terms of this series, is exploring unity and self determination. So we want to first start off with unity and the different ways that we can look at that, the different ways that we can look at um, the necessity for unity, and even connecting it to how unity can reduce stress. So, Sister Aj, when we consider unity and stress reduction, what ideas or insights do you have to share?
Well, when we're talking about unity, I think the reason why we definitely brought it into the conversation is because we're going into Kwanzaa as well. And so unity and self determination is Kwanzaa principles that in our community we want to make sure we focus on, because these are things that when we don't participate in unity and using it to build self determination, it can create stress for us as an individual and as on a community level. And so unity with us working better together and not misusing each other, but definitely utilizing each other's talents and gifts and
Mm,
supporting one another so you don't have the overwhelming amount of stress with thinking that you're doing things alone or you are alone. That's the very important part of having unity in the community and knowing
mhm,
that you can reach out to your community for something that you may need to be supported with, excuse me, that relieves stress. Um, for me, I know Sister Latifa um, reached out to me the other day about something that she needed, that I would know of. And I was very, very open to allowing her to know how to support her in the question that she was given. Um, when we share and unite, it takes the stress and the strain off of us thinking that
absolutely.
we got to do everything by ourselves. We have to make sure we are collaborating with each other and we are building collectivity and unity in our community, because one thing is about it that we've always done in our culture is we have always helped each other, always. It's the African way, it's the cultural way, and we have to get back to that by unifying and sharing and uplifting and supporting and motivating and inspiring each other on this journey that we call life, because it does get difficult sometimes. Life does become stressful sometimes, but if you have people who are working with you together and helping you, then it doesn't seem so tedious and so cumbersome and
Absolutely.
so
Yeah.
much of a task. So that's what I would say about unity in the community, alleviating stress.
Yeah, I think that what comes up for me is there's so many layers of distrust. So when we bring up the topic of unity, I think about some of the other types of things that we may have circulating throughout the community, maybe from those of us that are not necessarily as cultural minded, or is spiritual minded, this sense of, well, you can't trust blue, 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 or, you can't depend upon, we have these other negative things that, you know, slogans or thoughts or patterns of thinking that were placed upon us. And when I think about unity, I think that if people that are listening ask themselves the question of how can I be kinder? Um, it could be that you begin to tell yourself um, that, you know what, I'm going to make eye contact and say hello to people that I see in my community. I think that is, for some people, a good starting point of discovering how to create unity. Because if you can begin to be kind to someone, greet them, that could lead to a conversation, that could lead to an invitation, especially if this is somebody that you see on a regular basis. That kindness, that extension leads to familiarity, and then that familiarity can lead to trust. It doesn't have to be um, always big gestures. Um, and I also think that if we, especially as we approach, the end of the month and the Kwanzaa season, if we begin to ask ourselves, how can we um, create, I'm thinking of circles of unity or opportunities where we can unify and support each other. That's how it can grow. Yes. Mm-hmm. Um,
Do
Sister
we have
Audrey.
anybody, Sister Omi, in the live stream that would like to speak on the definition, their definition of unity? Because I think also a lot of us have different definitions
Yeah,
of what we
that's a good
define
point.
unity as. And so it may be, you know, cumbersome for us to unify because some people may not know what it is to be able to unite with other people. We can't
Right.
assume that everybody has been taught unity. There
Mm-hmm.
is a lot of, I find it very obvious in a lot of people who were only children. They
Mm-hmm.
didn't really have any siblings or any cousins or different things like that. Then I have found that it's hard for them to unite with other people because
Yeah.
it's always just been them. Everything is mine, 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 mine. I've never had to share. I've never had to unite with anyone because I'm an only child, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so people come from different paradigms of raising and rearing. People come from different paradigms of thought. And so I feel like as a community, it's hard for us to do a thing that we've never been exposed to or taught. And all of us have been taught differently. And we have to respect that difference if we're ever going to successfully unify as one people. So I would like, to open up the conversation for some people in the chat as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Sister Antisha says that unity for her looks like support, correction, and love. Hmm. So I
Like
would
that.
ask Sister Antisha, um, support and love. Um, I clearly understand. Could you explain a little bit about what you mean by correction, if you could? And if anyone else has any comments or questions, you can type in the comment box and be part of the discussion. I also think that, sometimes what we associate unity with is the groups that we're in. Like, um, I think of churches or other religious organizations, sororities, fraternities, for the brothers, um, jobs. I used to work for an airline part time, and they referred to like we referred to ourselves as crew members. So the unity was around, um, anyone who wore the uniform, right? Was like we're unified. They would say, if you were a crew member, then, you know, how would I say, the doors open for you, meaning that, uh, you're part of the group, you're unified, you're part of the group. Even that I'm retired now, if I go, to take a flight and I show my ID, oh, you're a crew member. All right. So that unity might look like maybe they'll give me a better seat. Maybe they'll, check my bag for free. So sometimes we only think about unity within organizations, but how do we bring it into our own individual lives where maybe even we start to create groups ourselves? And that could just be meeting, coming together on a regular basis and sharing a meal with two or three other people or two or three other families. Unity could look like that. Okay. What are some
Absolutely.
examples of unity that you can think of, Sister Aj?
Definitely bringing together groups of people for a common cause.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's how I have began to build and unify with community, is because I was an event venue owner for a long time, which is why it meant a lot for me to have that event center, is to build community, to unify the people. I have been a part of a group called Ashe Wellness Culture, where we created, I reached out to different people in the community that I felt I respected and I trusted and I liked, and I felt like they were authentic and they were genuine, and asked them to come in, and we created a circle to bring the community together in the sense
Mm-hmm.
of unity for wellness.
Mm-hmm.
We united together every third Sunday of the month in the spirit of us being well, mind, body, and soul. And we were able to bring the community in. We were able to invite other people that did not have a sense of community. And it was taken. People loved it. It was a way to unify the youth with the adults, with the elders. It was a
Mm-hmm.
way to unite us all as a community, feminine energy, masculine energy, just everybody in the community. Let's come together in the name of wellness, in the name of art, in the name of music, in the name of whatever talents you have. Let's let the community know what you're doing in the way of wellness, and all come together to unite and benefit from that wellness. And
Mm-hmm.
so for me, that is how we have to continue to build community, so people can know that they are supported and that they are loved and that they are uplifted in anything that they, may want to do. And so we're still actually moving that along. But it definitely showed me that there is definitely a need for unity in the community.
Okay. Thank you, Sister Aj. All right. So, and Tisha is responding to explaining correction. She says, Well, often we feel correction is someone against us and take offense. But if someone truly loves me and wants to be in unity, harmony with me, it may be necessary to correct behavior or even thought processes, not from a confrontational place, but a place of love and wanting to shore up the foundation of unity. What are your thoughts about that, Sister Aj? Principles over personality. Thank you, Antisha.
That was awesome, Antisha. Um, I think she's spot on with that because sometimes I tell my son all the time, people who love you, they won't. People who love you will correct you. People who don't really love you or like you, they won't correct you.
Mm-hmm.
They'll let you do whatever you want. They'll tell you yeah about everything that you do and never pull your coattail to pull you to the side to let you know that you're out of order.
Mm-hmm.
But someone who loves you for sure, they will find a way to communicate to you the right way of correction from
Mm-hmm.
love, from empathy, from sympathy, from compassion. And a lot of people are offended when someone they know and love corrects them. But we have to know that no one in this life is perfect. And
Mm-hmm.
so correction is a form of love. I think it needs to be approached in the right way, when
Absolutely.
you
Yeah.
correct someone. But I do feel like even as adults, we need to be corrected. We
Mm-hmm.
don't do everything right. And I think a lot of times that's what disconnects us as a
Mm-hmm.
community. It's
Mm-hmm.
because people don't like to be corrected. People don't like anyone to voice their opinion about anything that they do. And so that definitely causes discord and disconnection in the community because we have gotten to the point where we don't like to be corrected. And that is another issue Sister Antisha brought up that definitely needs to be addressed because that definitely can strengthen unity and community if people are open to correction.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think if we lead with kindness again, because I think about, you know, we could be quick to criticize and to be harsh. That's another thing too. I think that's why I, mention kindness. There's a way to say certain things. I know I was sharing
Yes,
this with my brother, who had a point. He had a good point about something. He had a good, when I say good point, he had a good reason for feeling angry about something. But instead of explaining the reason, he just spewed out the anger, right? So if we can be kind in our communication, that can link us together in unity because that's heart to heart. Kindness appeals to the heart. There's always a way to use your words intentionally with your tone. Yeah, that can help
absolutely.
build unity. Hmm. Um, Okay, Latifa. For me, it also starts in the home. Families having unity, mother and father in unity, children in unity, children and parents in unity. This is very powerful. Yes, absolutely. Um, you know, I think about that and I think about that is ideal, right? But I also think about how there's so many cases where those that structure and foundation is not there. So then I think about that anyone within the home. So you could have, it could be a single mother. You could have aunts, uncles, especially in the time that we're living in, where you now will have maybe more people who are living together out of necessity because of what is going on in this country, because of the economy. Unity, and they could even be, I think of situations where maybe people are renting rooms. These are all very realistic, because of finances. Then within the home, just like Sister Latifa said, there should still try to be some unity, not disjointed. Okay, well, I am here doing my thing over here because I needed to be in this space until I can get myself together. So what's going on over here with you and your children, that's none of my business. How can we, say, well, if we are together in the same household, how can we, build that unity together? That's a good point, Sister Latifa.
It is a good point, and on the flip side of that, though, we have to acknowledge how the black family has been, the structure of the black family has
Mm-hmm.
been broken. And so, in a lot of homes, you don't have the mother and father. In a lot of homes, not all, but in a lot of homes in our community, you don't have the mother and the father together. So that child may not have seen or experienced or been exposed to unity in the family structure. And if
Mm-hmm.
the grandmother is not in the household, the grandfather is not in the household, uncles, aunts is not in the household, then again, it begins to be a stress for the mom to create that unified feeling in the family because everything's on her. Or it could be the father that, the mother's not in the household. So everything's on him. And that is why unity in the community is so important. Sister
Yeah.
Latifah came back and said sometimes couples mates aren't unified. That's true. Couples and
Yeah.
mates aren't unified. There's a unity deficiency in our community across the board. In
Mm-hmm.
a lot of our relationships, is what we're talking about. Not having unity in relationships, which means if we don't have unity in our personal relationships, we definitely it's going to be a problem in the community.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because, like Sister Latifah said, it does start at home. But if there's no unity at home, then 9 times out of 10, there's no unity in the community.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I think about a lack of unity in couples, I think so it gets, we have to go a little deeper. A lack of trust.
Yes,
Sometimes, too often, our relationships are transactional, and that is with both sisters and brothers. Transactional meaning, well, I want to be with this man or partner for what they can do for me, or what I can get from them. Now um, that becomes conditional. That I don't even know if I want to use the word love, but I can be with you, I can care for you, or I can say that I care for you because you're paying all my bills, because you're doing, or on the flip side, you're giving me sex. But that does not necessarily build unity, because that doesn't go to the core of, are you respecting and honoring this person for all of who they are? Are
absolutely.
right? Um, are you supporting this person in there? And I'm not using support from the point of financial. I'm talking about in terms of um, health wise, in terms of integrity wise. When I say health, I mean, are you supporting each other to help each other be healthy? That could be exercising together, that could be meditating together, that could be choosing healthier foods together, right? So it can, now we can get really deep in terms of building those unity structures within our homes and asking ourselves some key questions. That's why if something goes wrong, when I say something goes wrong, if if someone gets sick in a relationship, if someone loses a job in a relationship, may not last, it falls apart because the deeper unity in terms of your heart, your spirit is not in place. It was transactional. What do you think about that, Sister Aj?
I would agree that there's a lot of conditional relationships that goes on in our community. We're not practicing or have not been practicing unconditional love, which helps us unify. When you love someone unconditionally, you're united with them, you're supporting them. You know, as people say, you down with them like four flat tires. No
Mm-hmm.
matter if there comes a day you don't like something that they say or you don't like something that they do, or you know, but when you are loving someone unconditionally, you're looking at things deeper than that. You're looking at the person as a whole, not so much at what they did or what they didn't do. But
Mm-hmm.
when things are transactional, like what you said, when you have a lot of transactional relationships, then that is to me why we have no unity in our relations, is because again, I'm with you for a benefit, or you're with me, you're tolerating me because there's a benefit. And again, that's conditional, and that's never going to work. And it definitely doesn't prescribe to any type of unity, because soon as something go wrong, people are ready to run and flee and break up and, you know, call people out their names and call the police and just
Right.
all the different things that we do to dishonor each other. But again, that goes back to us meditating and healing and doing all the things that we need to do, because when things happen, which, as the young people say, life be life. And when things happen, and they will happen in relationships, whether it's a sisterhood relationship, um, a partner relationship, a marriage, a
Mm-hmm.
friendship, there are things that's going to transpire in that relationship, because you're dealing with two different or various different people, various different personalities, various different mind constructs. There's a lot of different reasons why we would disagree, but that should not take away from the unity
Mm-hmm.
that we have for each other. And that's going back into what you said, the trust.
Mm-hmm.
Trust is a major thing in when you're talking about unity. You have no unity if you can't trust. And the major thing that we have to all look at is, do we trust ourselves?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do
That's a deep question and a necessary question.
when we're talking about unity, a lot of times we don't trust ourselves, and so we don't trust other people, and then that's another disconnect with unity in the community.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Now, before we move on to connecting the other part of our topic, are there any questions or comments? If you have comments, you can type them. You don't have to wait until we ask for them. But we want to know what you're thinking and we want to invite you to be part of the conversation. Okay, so I want us to talk about Sister Aj. So we're exploring unity in a variety of different ways. Now, how does that lead to self determination? And I guess
Thank you,
maybe we
Sister
need to,
Antisha. I just wanted to acknowledge Sister Antisha. Thank you so much.
yeah, yes, yes, yeah. How does that lead to self determination? And maybe before we even say how it leads to self determination, um, why don't you um, define or describe what we mean by self determination? We're not going to assume, that
Right,
everyone knows what that means.
right, right. For me, self determination is has to involve components of self confidence, definitely self love, self acceptance. I definitely feel like you have to be reflectionary to your of yourself. Um, it comes from self esteem, high self esteem, builds self determination. Um, just liking yourself as a whole, loving yourself and respecting yourself, honoring yourself. Those are all attributes that build self determination
Mm-hmm.
because you know based on your life's experiences, life can beat you down. Life
Mm-hmm.
can beat you down, and we know the society that we all live in. It's not the nicest. It's not like what you were talking about when we were talking about unity. It's not the kindest to us. So it breaks without us receiving that. It can break our self determination based on how this society is structured, how it's designed. And so, again, because we're talking about unity and self determination, we need both of those components for us to strengthen ourselves so we can build ourselves up, so we can build each other up.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the mind has is so complex a lot of times. There's so many things that we all have gone through and so many stresses that we deal with each and every day, which is why meditation is so important to relieve that stress because all of those things can break our self determination. You just want to give up, you just want to quit, you just can't see a way out. Things have become just too much. And if you don't have unity and support of your community and your family and your friends and your loved ones, then yes, you can have very, very low self esteem, very, very low self confidence. You don't love yourself, you don't accept yourself, you always criticizing and critiquing yourself. So that breaks your self determination. It makes you feel like, I can't do this, I can't do this anymore. But
Mm-hmm.
one thing we have to know, and we need to know, and we can never forget, is that we're the most powerful people on this planet, the
Mm-hmm.
most powerful people on this planet. And we've been through so many things. Our ancestors have been through so many things, and we've come through so many things because we have a spirit of resilience. We have a spirit of self determination. We are powerful, but we are tired. We're exhausted. We're depleted. We're angry. There's a lot of things, and that's why meditation is key for us to be able to release and relieve all of the things that this world has done to us.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't leave out what we have done to ourselves in a sense. Because
Absolutely. Yeah.
we cause each other trauma when we're not unified. We
Right.
cause each other harm. So
Right.
we just have to look at everything from a deep perspective so we can regain our individual self determination so we can build each other up. But if I'm weak, I can't do anything for you. I can't uplift you. I can't support you. I can't even compliment you.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think about how I've been meditating for 39 years, and even as I say that, I'm like, wow. I recently spent some time over the past weekend with a friend who I hadn't seen in about that time, maybe even more than that. So that was I don't have a problem with disclosing that was in my 20s. I was 26 when I started meditating. So if you do the math, I'm now 65. And the reason why I'm freely sharing this information is because meditation absolutely helped me develop self determination. Because one of the things that happens when you make it a regular practice is that you get guided. Things become revealed to you. So, very often after meditation, or sometimes it could be during, I may get a thought, I may get an idea, I may get yeah, it's true. Tisha, she says 65 where. I may get a thought, I may get an idea. It can happen during meditation, it can happen right after meditation, it could happen, maybe that I'm, walking around or shopping or anything that that what happens is because you make time to go within, you open yourself up for guidance. That could be guidance of from that which you call God. You could call it the creator. It could be guidance from
Mhm.
your ancestors if you are open to believing in ancestors. And this is something that when think about the word self-determination, and I really quickly think about my own development over these 39 years. Absolutely, meditation helped me to notice crystals and want to explore them, notice aromatherapy, and want to learn about it. Meditation helped me. Maybe after meditation, I might have gone in a bookstore and bloop, noticed a book that caught my attention. So it gives me like a feedback system and continue to reveals to me ways in which I can express my true self, ways in which I can determine my next step, not from within, not necessarily from what, how would I say, what society may say. Oh, at 65, you should be doing XYZ. I don't necessarily go with that. I go with what comes through me, what
Mhm.
resonates with me. And you
Right.
learn what that feels like for you as an individual if you take the time to meditate. Yeah. What do you think about that, Sister Aj?
Yeah. Meditation, like Sister Antisha put in the comments, is life changing.
Mm-hmm.
It actually helped me get more determined. I mean, I've always been a determined person. I've always been a self starter. I didn't need many people to encourage, not saying that I don't need encouragement, but I was always a self starter. I know what it is that I want to do, and I live from my soul and I live from my heart. And whatever my heart and soul want to do, that's what I'm going to do, regardless of whether people think it's the thing to do or not the thing to do. Um, I remember when I first got into womb wellness, and my mom was like, "Oh my God, why would you even be wanting to even be bothered with black women in their womb?" I am a black woman. Why would I not? I mean, it's important to me for us to be well. And I know we all came through the womb. We all started in the womb. So we got to go back to the womb and heal. But she didn't understand that because it's not her journey and it's not her assignment. And it's, even though
Mm-hmm.
I came through her womb and she's my mother, she still didn't resonate with it. But I didn't
Mm-hmm.
let it stop me. Spirit had put something in my soul and my heart, and I was determined that I was going to manifest it, no matter if somebody thought it was weird or queer or whatever.
Yeah.
It didn't
Yeah.
matter. I was determined, and now, so many years later, it's the exact thing that we all need, no matter what your age
Yeah.
is. So determination, self determination, but you have to be healing. You have to be like Sister Lynn and Tisha put in the comment. You have to go through some forgiveness. You have to go
Yes.
through your dirty. You have to go through your dirty laundry.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew for this work that I have to be able to reflect and go deep within. in order to keep my determination and my perseverance up. If not, I'm going to be weakened and I'm not going to be able to do what it is that I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so meditation has been a very important part of that because I have to get still, I have to get quiet, and breathing is like food.
Mm-hmm.
And I had never thought about it like that before I got into meditation. But breathing is more important than food, because it's nourishment for the mind, body, and the soul. And so when I began to practice meditation, I can go without food. I thought I could never go without some of the things that I have, disciplined myself to stop eating. But it was through meditation that that started getting me clarity about why I don't need these foods, why I need to fast, why I need to juice. These are things that I didn't particularly practiced before. But once I began to meditate, messages just start coming to me that made sense. And it built my self determination to, because I still like chicken. I still like all the things that I still like, but I can't eat them, you
Mm-hmm.
know? But it's self determination to keep me riding past a smoked chicken house. And smoked chicken is one of my weaknesses, but that self determination keep on pushing. You can't stop because it's gonna kill you. So
Mm-hmm.
different things have built my self determination up, but it's through my healing practices
Mm-hmm.
that has made me even more self determined.
I thank you for that, Sister Aj. What just came up for me is sometimes we have a calling, and we might not define it as a calling. We have a desire. I hear, when I talk to people, people may say, I would really like to, or I wish I could blank, but I can't afford it. Or I wish I could be a blank, but I don't want to leave my job. I wish I could go back to school, but so I bring those scenarios because again I'm thinking about how which I might not I actually didn't make this connection consciously until this live stream. But I'm thinking about when I was 26 and I started to meditate and how my life unfolded in unconventional ways. For example, at that age in my 20s, the messaging was okay, well, in terms of your career, work for, X company for X amount of years and, you know, move up or whatever the case may be. And I am thinking about how uh, I started meditating at 26, and I think at about 27, 28, I decided, you know what, I just want to do temporary work. I want to work when I want to work, and when I don't want to work, I can be free. I don't want to be bound that way, right? And I think about the different how would I say urgings or the different things that pulled me that I didn't say, oh, my friends aren't interested in this particular thing, so if they weren't interested, I wasn't going to go. The very first time that I learned about crystals, I heard about someone talking about um, pyramidology and crystals on a radio show in in New York. And there was something about what I was hearing that resonated. Now I had already started meditating, right? It was something that resonated, and I said, I'm going to go to this event. And I didn't ask anybody. I took my self determined so and went to this event, and that opened me up to learning about crystals, meditating with crystals, doing crystal healing, and then that led me to other things. So you may find that meditation will help guide you on, determining, I'm going to reverse it, determining what yourself should be doing, especially in times like this, because what your intellectual brain is telling you to do might not be the full picture. That you might have a calling within you that you're suppressing because you have not taken the time to relax, release, and go within. So, meditation is going to teach you how to really just be in that moment. What we do here during our live streams is we give you a guided meditation, and you don't have maybe a lot of time in silence, but on your own, it is within the silence with paying attention to the breathing that allows you to reveal yourself to yourself. So that helps with self determination. Um, so, Latifa has shared with us the Kwanzaa principle. Put that back up. The Kwanzaa principle, self determination, means to define ourselves, name ourselves, create for ourselves, and speak for ourselves. Absolutely. Thank you, Sister Latifa. Yes, think of all the ways that we need to do this and all of the ways that you can do it. What does that mean? I shared a little bit of my own experience as I'm reflecting, um, how that manifested for me to lead me, to put me in this seat right now, in this moment, to have to be part of facilitating this discussion. It came from meditating. I actually, Sister Ajay and I, it came. This is how we came to be doing
Hmm.
this for all of you through meditation.
Yeah,
Kuji Shaka Julia. So try to say that correctly. So I know, Sister Latifah, you put it up. I hope I said it correctly. I get like tongue twisted.
that's
But
one of
great,
my favorites.
this came out of our shared meditation.
Yeah. And we both was determined to do
That
it
that's right.
because it's necessary and it's needed.
Yeah,
And for me and as well as yourself, because I
right.
feel like sometimes when people think that or feel like when they facilitate something, they're just sharing it with others. But I know for me, and I can only speak for me, as a facilitator, I make sure that I get my healing as well through everything that I present. I make sure that I'm
Yeah,
present and I
yeah,
participate in it because no one is healed
right.
easy.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
all healing and we
yes,
will always continue to be healing because there's different levels of what we need to heal.
absolutely,
So
absolutely.
I'm determined in my healing as well, which is why this was so, I was so determined for us to create this because even through, women coming to Sweet Spot and, even men that I talk to, so many people do not meditate.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
many people don't know what meditation is. They say I don't know what that is. I don't know, nobody has guided me. I don't have nobody to guide me through it. But it's something so simple that you can take a few minutes out of your morning, a few minutes out of your day, and a few minutes out before you retire at night and just rest your soul. Just rest your soul. And teacher's asking, what does that mean? What are you speaking about?
you have to clarify for us what you're speaking about. And while she's doing that, I would like to say this is a popular excuse for not meditating that I hear. I don't have time for meditation. And my
Hmm.
response to that is you are already breathing. So, all that you need to do, if you feel that you don't have time, take 10 deep breaths. 10 deep breaths wherever you are, and that is a form of meditation. And I think that most people can do that. That is self determination, Antisha. That's the
Kwanzaa word for it.
term. Yeah,
The
that's the
Kwanzaa
word. That's what
term.
uh, uh, Sister Latifa was defining. So that's the word for self determination in the Kwanzaa principles. Yeah,
And we combine them because we only have the weeks that we have in this month, and we wanted to make sure we focused on the different Kwanzaa principles that our community may need to just talk out, definitely meditate upon, so we can get stronger in those Kwanzaa principles because they affect us as a culture and as a people and as a community. These are the principles that we really, really need to meditate on and focus on and delve into so we can, be better in them so we can create health and wellness in our community, um, which is what meditation also does as well.
absolutely. Okay. All right. Are there any other comments? Any questions? Thank you. Yes, yes. It's Kiswahili. Thank you, Sister Latifa. Any other questions? Any other comments? All right, Sister Ajay, do you have any closing insights, comments?
I would just encourage people to define what their meaning of unity is that we done came through this meditational soul talk that we have, um, and also define what your feelings are, not what you think or not what you think but what your feelings around the word unity is and what your feelings around self determination is. We didn't put up the Kwanzaa terms because we know that some people who are newly into meditation or newly invited into this, they may not know what those words meant, and so that's why we use just the Greek term for the word. But we definitely wanted to expound on the Kwanzaa principles, because I feel like if we can work, not just in December when we usually start celebrating Kwanzaa December the 26th, and we were talking about the stress during the holidays. I think it all goes together when we talk about what stresses us during the holidays and what can help us about
Absolutely.
that stress. About
Mhm.
that stress. Kwanzaa starts December 26th in Tisha. 7 days. It goes through 7 days, and it has seven different principles.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. I think that the time. Well, this conversation is uh is needed in every time, anytime. But in the times that we're living in, where everything is very intense, when we think about unity and self determination, I wish we were talking about that, 39 years ago, 40 years ago, maybe even longer than that. So I wish that it wasn't something that we would be talking about right now when we really, really need it in a very intense way. But we're hoping we're hoping that this conversation, even those who were not able to be part of the live stream, but you might be watching the recording, okay, that this will encourage you to think more deeply about unity, think more deeply about self determination, and think about how meditation can become a part of your life so that you can experience the enlightenment and the ability to be able to define yourself, to be able to define your path and your course. Okay, Sister
I say,
Ajay,
I say.
anything that you'd like to add? Now that we're
No, that's all I had. That's all I had.
Oh yeah. Oh, you heard my dog. Yes, my dog's name is Pata. So, maybe he's not in the room with me, but maybe that's a message too. His name is Pata. So we're gonna say
Mm.
good night. We will see you
Yes,
next week. Okay.
yes. Thank
Everyone,
everybody for joining and participating in the discussion in the soul talk. We
yes,
appreciate
thank
you
you.
showing up for yourselves for meditation and relaxing your mind. Um, and if you have any questions when we close out, we all have our platforms available. If you need support, you need guidance, if you need direction. I don't claim to know everything, but if I don't know, I'm going to get you to the right person who does. So
Absolutely.
peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings. Thank you.